Thank you.
Y'all will be distributing those.
Yes, we will have notes that we will share afterwards. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Shirley? Okay, okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm going to turn the welcome over to Miss Green, but thank you all for being here tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I certainly would like to welcome you to Fairfield County's opportunity to really make some plans to capitalize on our recreational opportunities. And I am so happy to see all of you here. I must say that I was really surprised when I went in thinking that I was going to get a few finger sandwiches and walked into a real meal. So needless to say, I had a hard time getting out here. You know, I was going for the peach cobbler because I thought that that was really the exciting thing tonight. But the real exciting thing is a thank you to the Environmental Protection Agency. We are responding to a planning grant. So a planning grant simply means that they're going to help us with all of the plans that we need to capitalize on some of the recreational opportunities that we have here in the county. So we're going to use their expertise, all of your ideas, and we're going to put those together to really come up with the plan as to how we move forward in this county. Now, essentially, they're not funding all of this, so let me make sure that that's understood. This is the planning process. After the planning process, we have a number of federal and state agencies that will help us and provide some of the funding that we need to really execute our plan. So let's look at this as the first step, and we're so happy that you're here to share your ideas and to really help us come together to create a comprehensive plan that we all can use and that our county can benefit from economically. So I'd like to welcome you here. I welcome the EPA and all of the associate federal agencies and state agencies that are with us today. We've taken a tour of the county. We've kind of showed them some of the assets that we have here. And, you know, they're impressed, as we already know, that we have some great things here in Fairfield County. So thank you again for coming. And for you, Amanda?
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you again so much for being here, and welcome to our first day of our Recreation Economy for Rural Communities workshop. This is the first opportunity that we have to interact with the community, and we are so excited that you're here to share your ideas. Thank you. Why did that happen? Hold on. Technical difficulties here. Okay. So, as Shirley mentioned, we had an amazing day today. We're here for 2 days. This is kind of a quick hit, so to speak, a planning process where we're here for 2 days to meet with you all, bring people together. We had an amazing day visiting your community. We went on a community tour. We're here tonight to hear your ideas for what you want the county to be. So tomorrow we will have another day. We'll be here all day from 9 to 5 over at the Old Armory, and we're going to be, taking the ideas from tonight and really rolling up our sleeves and detailing out the next steps for how do we get there, and who are the people that need to be in the room to make this happen. I will also say, I don't think I introduced myself. I delved right into that slide. My name's Amanda Ponce. I am with a planning and engineering consulting firm called EPR based out of Charlottesville, Virginia. And I and Jerry James will be your lead facilitators for this event. Jerry James is here. He is with the Explore Kentucky Initiative. And we also have some amazing facilitators with the EPA, with Steph Bertena here from Washington, D.C. We have Matthew Renborg from our firm EPR, and Reyes Barboza, who's out in the front introducing and welcoming everyone tonight. So great team of facilitators to help get you through this process. Tonight specifically, we've got a full agenda. We're going to be here until about 8:30 tonight, and we, have a full agenda. So we'll start with introductions and orientation. I'll turn it over to Steph to provide a little bit more background about the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities program, which we call RERC. So you might hear me say RERC throughout the process, and that's what that means. Jerry will give a presentation on defining the outdoor recreation sector and kind of sharing his knowledge and experience about the power of the recreation economy. It is quite a powerful generator of economic income and incentive. We'll also hear from Synethia Williams, who will share a little bit more about the local context, like why RERC, why are we coming here to do this work, and discuss some of the workshop goals. We have some group exercises that we'll be doing throughout, so this is going to be very interactive, and we're here to hear what you want in your community. This is your plan. So before we get started, I do just want to share I do want to talk a little bit about the environment that we're hoping to create here in this workshop. So have a few ground rules. I'm sure some of you are old pros and do this stuff all the time. Others of you may, not be as familiar, but we really want to create an opportunity for everyone to interact and for everyone to feel comfortable sharing and listening and engaging. We want to make sure everyone is sharing the talking time. So this really is to be able to hear from everyone. So please just be mindful when you're sharing that there are other people that do want to speak. We want to make sure everyone's listening with respect. So, try to understand what somebody's saying before you jump to judgment. And of course, if you don't understand something, please feel free to ask a question. We do have a very specific topic and a short window of time together, so we want to focus and make sure that our time together is addressing the topic at hand. So anything that comes up that you want to share, that's fine. We'll probably put it in a parking lot so that we can address it at a later time. We want you all to be comfortable. We will be here for 2.5 hours, so please feel free to use the restrooms. They're in the back. There are some wonderful snacks over in the hall. And, if you need to use a phone or step out to take a phone call, please feel free to do that. And lastly, we want this event to be safe for everyone. So if you're not feeling well, stay home. If you are here and you're sick, please feel free to wear a mask. If, we want everyone to feel comfortable. So whatever makes you feel comfortable is what we want to do. So we do just really want to say thank you to the steering committee who has been part of this process for the last few months. We'll share a little bit more about that background, but we have a great steering committee, which you can see on this slide. I won't name everyone, but we'll really give a special thanks to Shelley and Synethia, who are our community points of contact. Shelley was one of the main grant writers for this effort, and Synethia has been folded into the mix as part of this, and they have really been helping to make sure that all of the outreach and logistics and everything for this event have, are going smoothly. So thank you to Shelley and Synethia and to all of the steering committee who have shared your ideas over our calls together. So with that, I do just want to start with introductions, and we have quite a large group, so we're going to have to do this relatively quickly, and I would just ask that everyone share your name briefly, your affiliation, and one word or phrase that you want to share that describes Fairfield County. So I'll go ahead and start and maybe turn it over to Steph to do the next one, and then we can kind of maybe start with Ms. Broadwater and just go down the line up and down. We'll be taking notes. If anybody, I don't know if anybody has joined virtually, but we do have the ability for people who are joining virtually to participate. You can go to the Poll EV website that is on the screen, pollev.com/collaborate055, and you can also share your word or phrase. So with that, again, my name's Amanda Ponce. I am a facilitator for this process out of Charlottesville, Virginia. And a word or phrase, for me, being able to see the community today is varied. It's just, I'm just amazed at the amazing variation of assets that you have here, and just can't wait to hear from you all about how we can tie it all together.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steph Bertana, and I work for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in an office called the Office of Community Revitalization. I'm based in Washington, D.C., and I help to manage the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities program. So happy to be here, and my one word about Fairfield County is people. We took a tour today, and I think it's the people clearly in this community that makes things happen, and they make it a really special place. So that's my word for you today.
My name is Jerry James. I'm a sub-consultant on the EPA work program, and I do like a lot of work, rural economic development work in Kentucky. And then I also work for a national nonprofit based in DC called Outdoor Creation Roundtable, and I do a lot of equity work around the country. My word is probably expansive. There's a lot of cool recreation assets, but there's a lot of roads to travel to get there. So it's just expansive.
I'm Ann Broadwater with Fairfield County Economic Development. My word for Fairfield County is locational.
Good evening. My name is Matthew. I work with Amanda at EPR, and my word would be tranquil.
I'm Shirley Green, Fairfield County Council, and my word is beautiful.
I'm Katie McAndrew with the U.S. Forest Service Office of Urban and Community Forestry, and my word is potential.
Hi, I'm Robin Phillips, and I'm with the National Rural Transit Assistance Program with my colleagues over there, Curtis, and your transit manager here. I'm here to help bring transit to the table and help us, and my word is use our imagination, because this is really what counts. This is what makes this place special. So let's imagine all of the things that can organize all of your dreams about this place, the things you love best. So let's see. This way?
Okay, there you go.
Good evening. My name's Don Bonds. I'm a lifelong resident of Fairfield County. I'm retired. I have no affiliation. And I hate to be the negative one, but I'm going to say it, litter. We have entirely too much litter in Fairfield County.
Good afternoon. For those who do not know me, I am Annie E. McDaniel. I'm the state representative for this community, and it's very difficult to say something about Fairfield County, and it's only one word. But what I will say is that as I look throughout this room, I'm really praying that the decision that we make is going to be impactful for the people who live here, and whatever recreation that we decide on, that we're going to take in consideration whether or not the people who live here will be patronizing that recreation. Because we know that we've lost a lot here in Fairfield County, and if we venture out into something that is not going to be inclusive and share the diversity, the beautiful, rich diversity that we have here, it's going to be something else that sits on the table or something else that we engage in that will not grow our great community. So I'm asking all of you to please think about the people who live here and the recreation that we branch out in. So with that, I'll say cultural diversity and inclusiveness. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nicola Hemphill. I represent Southern Women Philanthropy Conference. We are focused on developing economic and political power in rural areas. And my word for Fairfield County would be valuable. I believe that there's a ton of untapped potential here in the county, unused resources, whether they're people resources, beautiful town. So I believe there's so much value here. We just need to highlight it. We need to elevate it, and we could be the best county, the most visited, the most beautiful town, and I would like to see us accomplish that through this work. Thank you.
My name is Sherwin Davis. I'm a community member. Hard to think of a word just that quick. Because yes, y'all covered majority of it. Oh, well, diverse is my word.
I'm Barbara Mack with Fairfield County Parks and Rec, and I just have one word about Fairfield County. I feel it's very unique.
Lucas Vance with Fairfield County Parks and Rec. My one word would be family.
Hello, my name is Bill Stangler. I am your Congaree River Keeper. And if I had to pick one word, it would be broad because of the vastness of the county, the opportunities we have, and, you know, the river, obviously.
My name's Sheen Stevens with the Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, and I would say my word is precipice. I told the group today I really feel like we are on the precipice of exploding in Fairfield County. I think this county is about to be great.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keisha Long. I'm with DHEC, but I also have a lot of family that lives in Fairfield County and have for generations, so that's my word is family.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pastor Bartholomew Earl Green, Senior. My word for today is unity.
I'm Catherine Walker, Community and Connectivity.
Daryl Barnes, community member. I would say undiscovered.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm representing our farmers market, and I would say home.
I'm Jeff Schaefer. I'm a resident. I've been thinking about the right word. The only word I'm going to give you is 1940, back then.
Randy Bright, Ridgeway, District 1. Opportunity, unrealized opportunity.
Willie Woodard, resident. If I had to do one word, I would say this is it's a neat place to be. Yep.
Good evening, Glenda Woodard, and I would say empowerment. Empowerment.
Yeah, my name is J.R. Green. I'm superintendent of schools in Fairfield County. The word I'd give you is potential. I think it's already been alluded to earlier.
Moses Bell, Fairfield County Council Chair. And the phrase I would use is Fairfield County getting better every day. That's our new slogan for the county.
Good evening, I'm Patty Wilkes, and I'm the Executive Director for Fairfield County First Steps. I'm also a lifelong resident, my husband is as well, and we raised 4 children here. So my word is hopeful.
Hi, I'm Pelham Lyles. I'm the director of the Fairfield County Museum, and we have lots and lots of culture around here, but I'm going to say the word that's dear to my heart, green.
Hi, my name is Mary Ann Oliver. I'm a community member here, and I'm a healthcare worker and worked in this county. And the word I wanted to use was historical, but then The second word is not a very positive word in that we're unhealthy. And that's one reason I'm here. I really want to push for a healthier environment for our county.
David Brown, lifelong resident, and I think we ought to look into our water resources and maximize them.
I'm Angie Connor. I'm the Executive Director of the Fairfield County Council on Aging, and my word is home.
My name is Mariah Manning. I'm the Community Development Director at Fairfield County Council on Aging, and my word is potential.
Good evening. My name is Diana White, Executive Director of Fairfield County Transit, and my words are connecting our citizens.
How you doing? My name is Rufus Barnett. I'm a resident of Fairfield County. I'm a Nashville recording artist, and my word is homegrown. As we grow, let's not forget that this is rural, but also consider reasonable growth. Say your name.
My name is Rufus Barnett Jr.
Thank you for being here.
My name's Tiffany Cheek. I'm a fairly new resident and also a student of public health at South University. But my word for this community is refuge. It's been a refuge for me.
Good evening. My name is James McGraw, a concerned citizen, retired. And if I had to use one word, I would say it's stony or rocky, whatever you want to use, but it's here.
George and Kathy Carpenter, we moved to Fairfield County a year ago, and we would like to see it grow. Our word is unlimited possibilities.
Hi, I'm Jim Rex. I'm a resident. I've been here almost 30 years. There's a lot in this county to preserve and protect and take care of in the natural world as well as cultural. I think my word would be stewardship.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Banks Smith. I am a concerned citizen and a lifelong citizen here in Fairfield County, and my word is, wait, it's been taken so many times. What's my new word? Untapped.
It's a good one.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pat Walker. I moved to Fairfield County in 2019. I'm here representing the South Carolina Railroad Museum. I know most of you are used to Henry being here. Henry couldn't be here tonight. My word is hidden.
Good evening. My name is Missy Jennings. I'm probably the newest resident here. I moved from the big city of Charlotte. And I am associated with the Fairfield County Pickleball Club. My word for Fairfield County is friendly.
Hello, my name is Capri Lewis, and I'm a longtime resident of Fairfield County, but I've worked out of the county for a long time and just recently retired. And one of the things since actually becoming is more active, and that's what I'd like to see is more individuals active with our community, not just with activities, but also with stewardship, with our litter, with our education, with it being all inclusive.
Doug Pauley, Fairfield County Council, and I would say love. I think we all here because we love Fairfield County and we want to see it do better.
Good evening, Gwendolyn Ashford, resident here, also the executive assistant to the administrator, and my one word would be accessible, being that we are here in between Rock Hill, Charlotte, Charleston, so I would say accessible.
Good evening, Malik Whitaker, County Administrator, and my one word is hardball.
Good evening. My name is John McMeekin. I'm the mayor of the great metropolis of Winsboro and soon to be greater. I'm a lifelong resident here, in spite of my wife trying to throw me out a few times. And my word is I look around this room and seeing everyone here who is Fairfield County, determined And we're going to make a change and make this place better.
Good evening, folks. My name is Jim Latrulio. I'm the chairman of the Lake Watery Association, and my word tonight is wildlife.
I'm Milt Marley with the Lake Watery Association, and my word relates to what's been said: follow through. We have to do something when these 2 days are over.
Hello, my name is Sanithia Williams. I'm the Deputy County Administrator, and my word is, phrase is endless possibilities.
I'm Shelley Fentress. I'm the Grants Coordinator for the county, and my word is adventure.
Hey, I'm Courtney Corby. I'm a new resident, and my word is marketable.
Good evening. Bill Lane. I'm with the National Park Service Rivers and Trails Program out of Atlanta, Georgia. So coming up here from Atlanta and seeing as peaceful and quiet it is up here, I've got a whole paragraph I could give you about the difference between where I come from and what I saw coming in here today. But from the turnout of the amount of people that I see here tonight, I would use the word proactive. I can see the community is very proactive in changes.
Hello, my name is Dusty Brantley, and I'm not a resident of Fairfield, but my husband is the current mayor in Great Falls, and we wanted to come and get involved and see what's going on because y'all are our neighbors, and we're excited for y'all and your growth. And I guess my one word would be neighbors.
I'm Tiffany Craig. I run Tiffany's out at the interstate, exit 48, and my word would be vision.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Harvin. I'm affiliated with South Carolina Association for Community Economic Development in the Low Country, as well as the Rural Resource Coalition of South Carolina. And my one word is what the gentleman said, undiscovered.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Boyd Bell. I am affiliate with His and Hers Discount Store in Winsboro, and I'm also a resident here. My one word would be because. Because we can, because we care, and because we will be great again.
My name is Trina Dye, and I am a resident. I live right across the street. And my word would be, it's more of a phrase, making memories.
Edward Gray, a lifelong resident of Fairfield, and I had no idea I would be publicly speaking today. But I am a local business owner, and my word is employment.
Good evening. I'm Curtis Sims. As Robin has already introduced me, I'm with the South Carolina Office of Public Transit, and I'm from a neighboring county around here. I'm not from Fairfield, but I remember it growing up. And the term I would use is something that is rarely talked about around here is gold mine, because you have a lot of cultural, natural resources and a lot of potential here. So I would say gold mine.
Thank you so much, Curtis, and to everyone for sharing your word. Really appreciate that insight and learning and, just understanding of what people see and want to see here in the county. I'm going to give an opportunity. I'm not sure. We might need to just pause a minute. Do you know if we have people online that are participating? Are you able to tell us? So these are the results from the people who participated online, I believe. Neighbor opportunity 4. Okay. So if you are online and want to share, we would love to have your thoughts. Give them just a couple more seconds. What's that? Yes. Authentic. Awesome. Authentic. Okay. Well, we're gonna keep going through here. So I'm gonna turn it over now to Steph to be able to share a little bit more about the work program.
All right.
Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. What a great turnout. Thank you all for spending your evening with us. I know everyone's time is really precious. But I just want to take a couple seconds to set the context for what the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities program is all about and kind of why we're here today. So the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities program has a couple of purposes. It's really to help partner with communities who are trying to revitalize their main streets through outdoor recreation. We're also hoping to work with them to strengthen economic opportunities that can come from the outdoor recreation sector of the economy for residents and businesses alike, and to also enhance equitable access to the outdoors, recognizing that getting outside is a really key part of the sustainable use of natural resources. So from this process, we really hope you all come away with a couple of different things. One is the new connections that we'll make. Some of you know each other. Some of you might not know others in the room who live in the same community as you. So we hope that you're making connections with each other, and then also connections to some of the partners who are here too, who are interested in hearing what your community wants to see and to help make that happen. So connections is one thing. The second thing is really an implementable action plan. So after tomorrow, we're going to be here working intensely for the next couple days. We will help you all capture all of what we learn here today into an action plan. And this is really a catalytic plan. It's not a long-term plan. It's really a catalytic plan for you to identify what are the next steps that you all want to take as a community to boost outdoor recreation opportunities, to take advantage of what you already have, and really what do you want to do moving forward to continue to revitalize your community. So that is really kind of the second tangible outcome, is this action plan. I introduced myself already, but I'll say it again for those of you who might have joined late. Again, Steph Bertena. I'm with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. We're one of several federal agencies that are supporting this program. And our federal partners came together a couple of years ago to start this program, recognizing that in our work across the country, we were seeing a lot of small towns and rural communities who wanted to take advantage of the growing interest in outdoor recreation across the country. I've been at EPA a while, and I've gotten to spend my career working with small towns and rural communities for the last nearly 15 years. And we've gotten to see this growing interest in tapping into the potential that the outdoor recreation economy has for revitalizing economies and strengthening downtowns. So we were able to partner with the USDA Forest Service, the Northern Border Regional Commission, and the Appalachian Regional Commission to support this program together. We have also participation from a lot of other federal agencies, state agencies, some of whom are here tonight, some of whom will be here tomorrow. And we're really all here to listen to what your vision is for your community and to see what resources we might have at the federal level, at the state level, that might be able to help you implement the plan that's going to come out of this process. So it's really a partnership. This is a list of just some of the partners who were invited to and hopefully will be here at the workshop. Just want to again thank the federal and state partners who are in the room tonight and who will be here tomorrow. As you can see, there's a lot of us. This really generated a lot of interest in all of these partners, and so we'll hopefully be here in the room for this planning effort, and then also in the follow-up conversations that will result to help think about what we might be able to do to help you all as you're really taking the next step with your action plan. So here we are with Fairfield County. Just as a background, Fairfield County applied for this program last fall. We had 115 applications from across the country, and we were only able to select and work with 25 of those. So Fairfield is among a select few that made it through the process. Shelley submitted the application on behalf of the county with a list of steering committee members that has grown. Amanda shared the list earlier with the local team that's been involved in planning so far. And then really we're here today to expand the table, to hear from all of you, and to really continue this process moving forward. So you are among peer communities, many other communities across the country who are also trying to work on these issues. And as part of this program, we are connecting you with some of these places as well. Not only the folks who are participating this round, but communities who've been through this process before. We had a pilot round in 2020, 2021, where 10 communities across the country went through this same process, and now many of those communities are seeing the results of what happens when you come together as a community, say this is what we want to do, and then get things done. So again, why outdoor recreation? Why are we here talking about this issue in particular? We just have seen across the country that there's this growing interest in outdoor recreation. It's a large sector of the U.S. economy, and it's growing. And that provides an opportunity for rural communities who might be going through an economic transition, whether that's the loss or decline of an existing industry, just decades of change in a community that have been hard, to tap into this potential to boost the economy for the region, and to think about how you can tap into revitalizing your downtown as part of that too. We also know that outdoor recreation increases quality of life for the people who live in that community. Health was brought up as a theme here tonight, and so just tapping into the potential for residents to access those amenities. But then we also know that the recreation sector can be a strong economic contributor to a community and can have mutually supportive relationships with other priorities that the community might have. Communities, and again, I've gotten to a chance to work with lots of places across the country, communities that are able to really invest in their place become more desirable places for companies to locate. Places that have ample outdoor recreation opportunities are appealing to residents who might be wanting to relocate. And again, most importantly, they're good for the people who live in the community. So for all these reasons, and when Fairfield applied, we saw that you all have great potential, and we saw a lot of those assets today. You guys have already a tremendous number of assets, and it's really, this conversation is about how do you tap into and leverage those as you move forward. So I think with that, I'm going to turn it over back to Amanda to talk a little bit about how we got here.
Thank you. Okay, so Steph talked a little bit about the planning phase. We had the application and the selection process. We met with the steering committee over 4, it says 3, but it was actually 4 workshop calls or pre-workshop calls where we, talked a lot about what some of the assets, what some of the issues, what some of the opportunities are, and work together to define some goals, which are in draft format that we'll share with you, that we intend to be as a starting point for this workshop process. So we're here today in day 1 of Workshop Bliss. I hope you all are feeling it like we are, and we'll continue to get the ideas, solicit the ideas from you all to make this a valuable process for your community. We will have some additional follow-up calls after this to flesh out some of the actions. We're going to try to get a lot of work done today and tomorrow, but inevitably, there will still be more work to do. And so everyone is invited to continue to participate in this process, help us flesh out the actions, who's going to do what, how are we going to get there, what resources can we bring to the table to develop a final community action plan that, as Steph mentioned, is intended to be a catalyst. This is different than your comprehensive plan that you guys are working on currently. That is a long-term action or a long-term plan for growth and change. This is really much more about being catalytic in 1 to 2 years. What are some things that you can do to help achieve your goals? So with that, some of the goals that the community or that the steering committee helped to draft are around these 4 key topics. So economic development, downtown revitalization, raising awareness of existing recreational assets, and expanding recreational opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through each of those. So under economic development, we're talking about promoting outdoor recreation and historic tourism as a means of attracting new residents, employers, and visitors to support local economic development initiatives. We want to support the towns of Ridgeway, Jenkinsville, and Winsboro in efforts to revitalize the downtown as hubs for recreation and tourism, while preserving the historic structures and providing retail and service amenities for both residents and visitors alike. There are a number of amazing assets already, but we're hearing that people don't necessarily know about them. So increasing awareness of those assets, the local recreational assets in Fairfield County, through different programming, access to information, access to transportation, improved wayfinding, and marketing initiatives. And then lastly, to expand recreational opportunities. There are a number of sites that have additional potential. So for example, at the Palmetto Trail and Lakes Monticello and Watery, and creating opportunities that appeal to a range of user types. So that's kind of our starting point. And so I did just want to get a feel from those in the room, with a thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of middle, to see, if these resonate with you. So a show of thumbs up is like, yeah, these are pretty good. Thumbs down, no, they need a lot more work. Here is like, yeah, they're okay. Maybe could use a few tweaks. So if you wouldn't mind, give me Thumbs up, thumbs down. Everyone, I would love to see a thumb up or down or whatever, something. Okay, so it's looking like mostly here, some here. So those of you who kind of gave me a middle of the road, what are some things that you think we need to improve upon? I saw you had a middle of the road. Okay.
Perhaps
Yeah.
a more specific and narrow focus. I mean,
Yeah.
this is stuff that we've seen for the last 10 years.
Okay.
I mean, we've had, since I've lived here 14 years, we've probably had, 10 comprehensive plans, and they all included what we're looking at
Okay.
today.
Okay.
And I realize the end game is to get to a point where you can have action, but
Yep.
we haven't. That's nothing new.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean,
I was just going to say that's a good point, and just we kind of summarized the process, but hopefully you can come tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to take this and get to much more detail. So tonight is that big picture, and yeah, it's a good point. We want to get to those details, and I will say from communities who've gone through this process and really work hard at it, you get to those very specific details. So we're hopeful that we'll do that. Okay, yeah, exactly, right. Good.
And that is the big problem. It's everybody has ideas and everybody puts the ideas out, but when it's time to implement the ideas, they shut the door in everybody's face and nobody wants change. That's a big issue for this county.
okay. Good to know. What? Does anybody else want to share thoughts? Ms. McDaniel?
Well, I didn't raise my hand, but since you asked the question, and those are three of the probably the most profitable and beneficial resources that we have in the county. But the issue is, I'm not sure that we see how they are growing the county, and how the people in the county are being able to capitalize on those great assets and probably some others that we have. So just like the others, I would like to see the deep dive, but unfortunately, I won't be here tomorrow because we go back in session. But I would like to stay engaged in how this evolves.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that opportunity to just plug December 15th. We're going to be doing, for people who weren't able to come or not able to come tomorrow, maybe weren't able to come today, kind of a recap of this, some additional action planning. So if you're not able to come tomorrow but want to continue to stay involved, that is one way to do so. Yes, sir.
My thumb was parallel.
Yeah.
And the reason is I looked at these action verbs you got up there, and I agree, I've seen them all before too, but they're all kind of tilted to one side. Development, revitalization, raise, expand. You heard a lot of words about a beautiful, natural place that doesn't look like Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't gone that way. And I think preservation, stewardship, whatever term you want, respect for why we're different, and that we don't lose that in an attempt to go forward. Staying put in terms of some features is not going backwards.
Yep.
We have a lot of green space. We have a lot of recreational opportunities. You saw it today. And that's because we have maintained and protected a lot of things in this county. So I don't know if it's an asterisk or something that says, we're not going to make a lot of mistakes that have been made in other places in the name of quote-unquote progress.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is protecting the people who are already here, like Annie McDaniel said, but part of it is protecting the natural resources that are here. So we hang on to the potential you saw today.
Yep. I appreciate that a lot. And, we certainly have space to be able to add another goal around preservation so that we can make sure that we're capturing that as part of this effort. So that's something that we'll work on this evening and bring back tomorrow. Mr. Bonds?
As I said, I'm retired, and one of my interests is art, and that's recreation. and I would like to see Fairfield County get an art recreational program of some kind. I had to go to Newberry to take classes. I found that Newberry had art classes, Chester had art classes, Camden had art classes, Richland County had art classes, and I didn't find any available in Fairfield County. So that's one of the things I'd like to see. I'm almost 72. I don't hike. Yeah, I mean, so there are a lot of things that I don't do, but there are a lot of people, and the population of Fairfield County, roughly 18% is over 65.
Oh, okay. Thank you. He's going to go first,
ahead.
and then you.
Go ahead.
We got 2 mics.
You can go ahead.
Okay.
To bank off what Donnie was just saying, we do have an elderly population, and I run the museum, which is a historic museum, but we have an incredible genealogical facility for research, and if right now we have an issue with elderly people getting upstairs in a historic building, but we really have great potential there. If you go to Edgefield, South Carolina, you'll see what the genealogical facility has done for the downtown of Edgefield.
One of the things I wanted to say is this indeed is a great opportunity for Fairfield County as we begin to look at it. And one of the things I would like for us all to do is to be truly engaged as we, especially on tomorrow, as we begin to do this work, because I believe there's some opportunity for us to grow. And again, these plans are 1 to 2 years kind of thing. So I just believe that it's going to help us in our efforts to try to make Fairfield County better. So I'm challenging everyone to try to be engaged throughout the process and stay engaged for the work that's going to happen down the road.
Yes.
So one word that's not up there that I'm going to advocate for is pickleball. So pickleball is one of our most growing programs. And it is and for those of you that don't know pickleball, I'm not surprised because I didn't know a lot about pickleball till a couple years ago. But in a nutshell, it's tennis meets ping pong. And it is a program, it's an activity that is really all inclusive to male, female, youth, seniors. I mean, we have high school kids coming out playing with retired police officers. So it is really all inclusive, and I think there's an opportunity there to really generate some revenue and some tourism dollars through hosting tournaments, league play. We have some facilities now, but they're just in need of upgrading and expanding.
I think that's a great one for us to kind of come back to tomorrow in terms of the action planning. I think it's perfect, something that would fall under, the expanding recreational opportunities. And so that's definitely, I appreciate you raising that. We'll do just one more because we got to keep going with our agenda. This will be a topic that we will continue to be discussing tomorrow. So if you have a thought that you want to share, please bring it tomorrow so that we can continue this conversation. But let's finish up with this gentleman here.
Okay, thank you very much. Everything that I'm seeing, it sounds great. It's needed. But what has been an anchor that has held Fairfield County back for years is employment. Maybe someone or the powers that be should think maybe things would turn around if we bring in some type of facility or programs that could teach some of the people job skills, just offer them something. It's good to be able to walk around a beautiful trail at Lake Monticello, but if you don't have enough money to buy your kids a hot dog, what good is it? Let's not think that everyone's on the same level of just wanting to go and do art and see all the beautiful things in their life. Some people are trying to get an extension on the lights. You might not understand that.
Yeah.
But it is hard for a lot of people here in this community. And even when there are jobs here, the powers that be go outside of Fairfield to get people to do the jobs. Now that's a real slap in the face. Yep. That's a big slap in the face when you have people in the county that can do the jobs, but they're always contracted outside of Fairfield. That's utilizing someone else's county. That's putting tax dollars in someone else's county. Money out of, thank you, bro. Money out of ours.
Yep.
So somewhere in the beautification and the revitalization, let's think boosting the economy by way of finding ways to get jobs for people.
Yep.
That's what's hurting Fairfield County. Not polishing up an older building. I went to school here. I love what you did. It's beautiful. I was in awe of walking in here. But if you care about people, let's find some jobs for people.
Yep.
That's what we need.
Yep.
We need jobs.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Yep. That is
So maybe
important.
we can add something like sustainable workforce development, something like that.
Yep.
The what?
All right. Yeah. So I guess the last thing that I have to say is just a refresher that these goals are really, about, they stem from your vision, and we intend to use these to create actions that will help us develop a plan that will be implementable, will be achievable in the near term. So we will be, over the next couple of days, as I mentioned, thinking about the assets, what exists now and what can be strengthened and improved. We're going to be identifying the needed partnerships and coordination. Many of those people are here in the room, and we're very grateful for that. And, really start to think about the different projects, priorities, actions. Lucas identified pickleball. There are tons of others, and we really want to hear your ideas, your activities, your vision, so that we can, help to prioritize those and really make some progress. So that's what tomorrow will be about, and we'll be creating this action plan together. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jerry.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for facilitating that section, and thank you all for all your great feedback. Gentleman that went last, what he said was really important about workforce development. It's great to have all these beautiful places, but people don't have the means to recreate and enjoy it. It's fraught, So actually, I'm going to get into that a little bit in what I talk about around equity, but again, my name is Jerry James. I live in Kentucky, do a lot of rural economic development work and equity work in the outdoors around the country through a program I lead called Together Outdoors. So jumping into my section, I want to talk about defining outdoor recreation. So, we all define outdoor recreation differently. Like for me, you see me there in California. In the middle, I'm a veteran, Air Force veteran, so it was on a BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color veterans trip on the American River in California, so love whitewater boating, out skiing, and then on my right, there's a picture of me with the Coach Lester Mims Trail, and Coach Lester Mims, he was the superintendent of Kentucky's first and only state park for Black people during the Jim Crow era. And so, for me, outdoor recreation is a very thing. It's skiing, it's paddling, it's hiking, and it's also about honoring the legacy of the elders that came before me that helped me even be able to have the right to enjoy these beautiful spaces. So we want to talk about, I want to kind of jump in and kind of get y'all to talk about what outdoor recreation means for you. And like I said, there are a lot of people, going back to my slide, see outdoor recreation as sometimes this really high octane thing, hucking off waterfalls and, backpacking 1 million miles and stuff like that. But it's outdoor recreation is so varied. It is nature watching. It's just going outside, looking at the butterflies. It's, pickleball. It's ultimate frisbee. So there's so many things. So I want to just ask you all, what does outdoor recreation mean for you? So I'm going to pass the mic around. So who do you want to start with? You want to start?
Do you want to do? Okay. We're in a group.
Okay, outdoor recreation. I love nature and swimming, so what I've seen with the lakes, I would like to see accessible to all of the citizens here.
Yes, I love walking. So basically, walking paths and those things for me, it's very important. Love doing that.
You don't want to say anything?
You know, one thing that comes to mind, and I mentioned a minute ago that I'm with the South Carolina Railroad Museum, is obviously we can have active outdoor recreation, and I think all the things up there certainly are available in Fairfield County and every other county. But you can also have some degree of passive recreation, and we've talked about that at the Railroad Museum, and we'll spend more time on it tomorrow, so I won't belabor it. We recognize we're very strong in passive recreation. At the Railroad Museum, people come ride the trains, they talk about things, they get education and all that, but there's not a lot of opportunity for exercise, for activity. One of the things we're talking about is I'm not aware in South Carolina of any rail bike trails. We've got 11.5 miles of rail. We use 5 miles of it. There's some additional rail there that we've begun, and we are in the very early stages of that, but talking about possibly looking at some rail bikes that we could do rail bike excursions with. We're not going to turn people loose on their own all over the place, because that'd be tough from a liability standpoint also. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that while some of us have been probably more actively involved in a passive recreation, we're also keeping an eye on what are some other active types of recreation we can do revolving around the museum.
And back in again, hiking is something that I rely on not only for my failing health issues getting older, but also for mental health, and I think that's an aspect that needs to be capitalized on in our community greatly.
Yes, thank you. And I'm going to have to leave after this one. I have another commitment, but I want to try to get this in very quickly. But outdoor recreation, to me, is recreation that is sustainable, recreation that involves the entire family, and recreation that brings the community together. And as you asked that question, in Greenville, they have Unity Park. It's a big splash pad where a lot of the residents come together. They bring their children, they bring their loved ones, they just splash and they have fun in the water. And then, as the gentleman talked about economic development, they have some little eateries. So once you finish having fun and splashing in the water, then you go and you patronize the eateries, and then they play board games. Those are kind of sustainable things that also help build family and help get the mind away from some of the criminal activity and give children, as someone stated, hope. Because I hear a lot of folk in Fairfield County say that there's no hope here. Our children leave, go to college, and they won't come back. And then the ones who stay here, they apply for jobs, and when I speak to some of the employers, they tell me, well, you know, they don't have the soft skills, or they can't pass the drug test. And so outdoor activity and recreation that can get our children away from those negative things and realize that outdoor activity is something that can really bring them together. And then one last one of them have to run is right below Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's a church group there that has an outdoor park that the gentleman is building with his own personal money. And when the people, when I've gone there to visit, that have come through there, it's like he had Bible scriptures on the trees, and they read those scriptures and they find some type of relief in nature for the day-to-day stress and the day-to-day activity that involves them. So recreational and outdoor recreation that can help sustain a community and keep the community together, I think and hope is what we come out with in this session. So thank you for allowing me to speak. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I do have to leave. But for some of y'all, you're probably glad because I talk too much.
Yeah. Over the last couple of years, my husband and I have done we've got an RV and we've gone different places to go camping, and in this state and other states too. And there's so many resources here in Fairfield, and we like to kayak, and we like to, yeah, we hike, but then we walk every day too, and we love to walk our animals. We do, I don't do it, but my husband and boys, they do disc golf, and you have great places here. I mean, I went by that old golf course over there, and I was like, God, that would be beautiful for a disc golf because you've got the greens and everything. But even, you know, out at one of the Lake Monticello Recreation Center. So you have that. And then, of course, pickleball. Pickleball is for all ages. The courts aren't much. You can put them in all the rec centers and get people up and going. It's not a sport that's going to cost you a lot of money. And so anyway.
So we're defining outdoor recreation. For me, it looks like glamping. There is a huge opportunity with regard to agritourism that allows us to expand and create multiple streams for our farmers, right? So I believe there's some recreational opportunities there that kind of do a number of things with one. But for me, I think that's very exciting because that's a growing industry. And with hospitality and tourism and combining agriculture, I think we can utilize more resources. And we can do more that will make our town and our county more attractive to visitors, that people who want to come and have short-term and long-term stays and experience our facilities. So for me, it looks like being outdoors a lot more and using it as a way to be a host to our visitors.
I just want to add one thing that outdoor recreation means to me, and it's a win-win. And by that, I mean, if we can promote pickleball in this county, if you all watch the news, you see all the big wigs that are buying all of these clubs. It's the biggest bang for our buck if we get pickleball up and running. You will have tourism, we'll have tournaments, it'll bring money in here. I have played since April, and I guess the best way to describe it is it's so inclusive and it's so much diversity. As Lucas said, we have players from 10 years old to 75 years old, and it is the only sport that I have ever participated in that you laugh when you make a mistake. It is the best fellowship that I've experienced in my 68 years, so that's what I would like to add.
Yes. Great Falls is pushing whitewater right now. Fairfield County has 25 miles to the Broad River with no access in the river. It's up at one location, which is down at 34, and you got to drop off a 5-foot cliff. And we talking about untapped resource, 25 miles long with fishing, hunting, canoeing, boating, you name it, and one of the prettiest floats in South Carolina.
I just wanted to point out that in the eastern part of Fairfield County, from Ridgeway along US 21 going into Lake Wateree, there are already a lot of cyclists that are using that area, and that, you know, they go a lot. You know, they go literally on like 40 and 50-mile bike rides, which I'm not quite sure I could do. But there are a lot of people in Columbia that are into cycling. And so it seems like it would be an area for Fairfield County. The gentleman was just mentioning about Great Falls and the amount of work that they're putting into the whitewater rafting. Do you guys know about that? Okay, yeah. Because that Great Falls is really just north of on US 21, and so they're about 18 miles apart, but there are a lot of things in common between both towns. And
this gentleman's going to go next.
Okay. I hear y'all talking about other trails, but some of them like they go four-wheeling as well. Miss Annie McDaniel was talking about the pastor that's building the park out there with his own money. He bought 11 four-wheelers out of his own pocket for the children to ride. because everybody can't afford to go to Adventure World and pay $46 to get in that place. Just like my brother said, you know, we just don't have the funds. And I'm a avid four-wheeler rider. I love riding four-wheelers and ATVs. And this is another untapped resource that the county has to have a riding park, or even having a way to ride from Winsboro out to Adventure World would be great. You know, and then you can come back and you can eat and you can or sleep and dine, whatever you want to do. But that's another untapped avenue right there. And then we got a lake on Watery on one side and Lake Monticello on the other side. And we don't even have one water park in Fairfield County.
The idea of non-physical recreation and the fact that we have so many elderly just reminded me of towns and cities where I've seen places where older people can get together and play cards, play checkers, chess, and even train younger people in terms of generational stuff.
When I think of recreation, the one thing that comes to mind for me is exclusive instead of inclusive, because you have to think of the different generations and the age groups and things that are here in this county. You have from the elderly to infants, and you also have a lot of disabled people. So I think looking at handicap, looking at things that are stroller compatible, I think that would bring a lot more people in, especially if you did something like the Miracle League, something that's exclusive to certain populations to bring that kind of recreation into the county somewhere, some way.
What outdoor recreation mean to me is to have more green spaces at our libraries, at our recreation centers, and more walkable nature trails. And what I'm saying is have nature trails that are not so long, but sort of short, so you can walk through there and have those walking paths. And again, when you have green space, also offer high-speed internet so people can use it as they do other things there.
When I think about outdoors, I think about the freedom of outdoors. And what I mean by that is as we consider growth and movement into inviting others into our county, if I show up to someone's trail in a mud truck, I'm homegrown. I don't want to be regulated in the freedom of being outdoors or outdoored and being active, as well as children that might ride in the back, because this is the South, this is the country. As we look at the improvements that we'd like to have, let's not forget that freedom is outdoors.
I wear two hats. I'm also chairman of the Joint Water Sewer Service Commission, and I've worked with Chairman Bell on that. And it's no question that we need jobs, we need employment, and we have to have balance here. And I remember the time when we had 25% manufacturing jobs here. So we've got to have that to raise the standard of living for everyone so they can engage in these activities. No question about that. So that, and I can promise you, I've been in Columbia this week a couple times working on things to get things to come here, working on getting the infrastructure here, making those connections, and we're going to work for that. I'll go back to the pickleball, and I believe that was created in Seattle, because that's where my daughter lives. And I believe it was Bill Gates' daddy who was a big pickleball player. But it is the rage of the country. And for me, though, I'm going to stick to walking, and I hope we expand walking trails if that's what I'm interested in. Thank you.
I'm just going to encourage, if you're participating virtually, you can share your ideas for what outdoor recreation means on our Pole EV site, so poleev.com/collaborate055.
So, Amanda, we got one more.
Well, I can't tell him exactly what pickleball is, but I saw it on TV. But I just wanted to say, in reference to outside, I am a Mimi, a grandparent of two. And we do have a mini park in the community I live in, and the only thing we have basically is the basketball. So if we could get maybe accessible to tennis and the pickleball, and maybe we could have communities where be competitive at that point, and also with the cycling, the bicycle. So if mom and dad are out there doing basketball and pickleball, the kid riding the bikes, just something. So like I say, everybody can engage.
Cool. So pickleball, I'll define it. It's like a tennis-like game. It takes up less space, requires less movement, and there's some cool strategy that goes to it. So yeah, that's kind of pickleball. It uses a hard racket, plastic ball. Doesn't require as much diving and slicing as tennis. So
We have time for one more, so I'm going to let this lady speak. But if you
That was-
want to share, that was it?
that was the one more. But we'll go one more.
Okay, we'll do one more, but if after the break or during the break you can come and share your word with us.
My ideal of recreation, I'm fairly new to Fairfield County as well, is something for the mentally challenged to be able to feel safe and meet likeness of them and find friends and socialize. I have a son that was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the age of 18, and he's now 28, and we live in Blair, and it's very isolated. It's something that someone that's dealing with a mental illness, one of the things they really don't need. They need to engage more. So I would love to see something along those lines. And also for his dad, who's an avid golf player, who loves to teach younger folks how to play golf, become the next Tiger Woods, hopefully. And I don't know why he didn't go that route. I hear everybody say how great he is as a player. And he also helps at the disability center with their golfing endeavors and their fundraisers. So I would like to see more done along that line, and engaging the mentally challenged more in these endeavors.
Well, thank you all. That's a lot of great activities that you've highlighted to us, and thanks for the folks that are online. I see someone put spaces in green. Yeah. The next big thing I want to talk about is the recreation economy. So that's what a lot of y'all have talked about in economic development. So in 2021, Americans participated, 164 Americans, or 54% of Americans participated in at least one of 53 activities. That's pretty active, right? The average age of an outdoor recreation participant was 37.4 years, and average income was $70,635. That's interesting, right? That salary. Oh. Test. Sorry. Oh no. Y'all messed me up. No worries. Tech support, please. Yep, so like I was saying, so the rec economy across our country, it's a multi-million-dollar industry. It's something that most Americans participate in. And So whenever y'all told me to turn the mic, I hit the power button with the mic stand. Yep. Yeah. All right, so, all right, jumping back in. So some of the most popular activities, as y'all probably know, camping, hiking, fishing, hiking, or camping, biking, fishing, hiking, and running. Outdoor recreation is also a large contributor to our GDP. It generated $459.8 billion to our GDP in 2021. And this number comes from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, which is a federal entity that analyzes our economy. Sorry. No worries, it was my fault. I'll keep talking. It's also like a major employer as well. So across the country, 5.2 million people are employed in outdoor recreation jobs, and they've earned around $226.3 billion. So for comparison, outdoor recreation employs about the same number of people as hospitals and also like agriculture as well. And it's starting to like surpass like the oil and gas industry as well. And then there's some South Carolina specific numbers, which when we get our computer back up and running, we'll be able to show. So in South Carolina, there are about 78,500 direct outdoor recreation oriented jobs. And then the outdoor recreation GDP in South Carolina is about $71 billion. There's $3.3 billion in wages and salary. So it's a 2.6 share of South Carolina's GDP. And then some of the most popular activities in South Carolina are RVing, boating, fishing, hunting, shooting, trapping, motorcycling, ATV, and horseback riding. And these numbers come from the Outdoor Industry Association. Thank y'all. We're back. So those numbers come from the Outdoor Industry Association, who does like an annual report. So if y'all are interested in seeing like this breakdown, you can go on OIA's website and you can see this whole report. The big thing that we wanted to kind of like talk about also with outdoor creation is the connection of place. And so you can see these are like trail systems that exist all across the country. So you see like the Pacific Crest Trail on here. You see the Palmetto Trail, which is like 500 miles. In my state, there's the Shelby Trace Trail, Kentucky, there's 323 miles. Continental Divide Trail. So these trail systems, they really connect our country, and they also generate a lot of money because people are hiking them annually. And they're also stopping in these communities to, resupply and stuff. One of the things we wanted to show to y'all is like the drive shed. So within a 2-hour drive shed of Fairfield, there's a population of over 6 million. Then there's about 2.5 million households, and those median household incomes are $64,330. And then the average household spending on entertainment rec is about $3,774. And then within a 5-hour drive shed, there's about 28.8 million folks, and then about 11.5 million households. Then the median income is about $63,000, and then average is on entertainment rec is $3,328. And so these are just statistics that y'all need to know as you're kind of designing your rec economy plan of like these are folks that you can tap into to maybe Fairfield can be a part of that entertainment rec budget for a family. This data came from, I think it was from Esri, right? Esri's like a mapping and data company, and they have these community profiles. So that's where it came from. Yeah, yeah. So, and I think Esri is like a mapping company, and so like you said, so they pull in the data from the census tract data, and then they like visualize it using like GIS. So this map poly is publicly available. Some of the big things that a lot of my work is focused on is outdoor creation or outdoor equity inclusion. And so just kind of want to jump into just some thoughts as you're working on this process. You know, we all live in the South. I live in Kentucky. There's a lot of fraught history in the South, from lynchings, from sundown towns, slavery, so many different things. And so as we're trying to revitalize the outdoor recreation economy, we need to be thinking about diverse consumers and also reckoning with that legacy, thinking about what monuments that we have in our community. Is that welcoming to somebody? Thinking about, was our community formerly a sundown town, and how that legacy can prevent people from going to certain communities. And so some of the stories that I'll share y'all is in the Cherokee National Forest. I'm a whitewater boater. There's a river called the Ocoee River. It's where the 1996 the whitewater section of the Olympics was held. And unfortunately, the Whitewater Center burned in a fire this year. But there was a restaurateur that put up this sign that said, "Make America White Again," as a billboard, and put up a bunch of different billboards around the county. So imagine you're, a family, and I'm gonna go whitewater rafting, have your picnic basket, and you're really excited, and you see that sign. Do you want to go? I don't know how I would want to go. And so luckily, like, the local community rallied together with the boating community, and they got those signs taken down. But there's some things just thinking about that. Or there's still folks that have been terrorized at campgrounds across the country. If you Google camping, there's so many different stories. Guns pulled on families just for recreating at a KOA. Some of the things I talked about too is for people of the LGBTQIA community. A lot of folks from the queer and the LGBTQI community, they self-urbanize. They will stay in urban communities because they feel it's not safe. One story that I bring up is Rebecca White. Her and her girlfriend were hiking on the Appalachian Trail, and them having their relationship out in the open enraged this man. This is in the 80s, and he shot them and fatally killed Rebecca simply because of seeing their relationship, out in the open. So also a big thing too to think about outdoor creation is yes, all these spaces are pristine, but a lot of them have been designed through de jure and de facto segregation not for all of us. So in the South, there's a legacy of black or white state parks, black state parks. If you're not allowed to go here, you can go here. And so we have to think about that infrastructure design, redlining, so many different things. And trauma, cultural norms, and lack of access to gear and stuff. So these are some of the things you just need to be thinking about. Also, for our indigenous community, the legacy of Indian removal. So there's a lot of stuff. So some of the things that we want to encourage, I talk about with a lot of communities, is around inclusive planning, thinking about righting those wrongs, making sure that everyone's at the table. I'm really loving seeing the diversity of folks here in this room. That's really good. Making sure there's a diverse range of outdoor recreation programs. So I really like that folks stood up and talked about for the disabled community, which is really important. Also helping educate frontline workers on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So there's just so many things. And then also inclusive marketing and outreach. So making sure that people see themselves in the activities that are available in your community. Phew. Oh, yeah, I'm on it. Awesome. Yeah, so I can talk about that that work all day, and if y'all need help, that's kind of like my role with this process is around thinking about equity inclusion. And I want to say also too that equity inclusion is not just a black or brown racial thing. It's a accessibility thing for everybody. Everybody has accessibility needs, so it's really important. So next we're going to do an exercise called challenges and opportunities. And so for the opportunities, they're going to be blue Post-it notes. So we want to see what is working well in Fairfield and how you can build upon to support it. And then challenges will be pink Post-it notes. And so talking about what challenges exist to developing the recreation economy and revitalizing downtown. And we want you to spend a few minutes taking notes on these, on your note cards or on the Post-it notes. And then then you'll be putting them up on the wall, right, Steph? Yep. Hey, Steph. Steph. So you said to the break.
So I think that they can, during the break, can stick their asset and challenge up on the poster.
Okay. So that one's the break. Yep.
Yeah, so I would say maybe explain, see if anybody has any questions.
Does anyone have any questions about this process at all? No questions? So remember, pink Post-it notes are challenges, blue Post-it notes are opportunities. And then we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then you'll be able to put your assets and challenges on the wall. See a lot of pinks out there. Ooh, we're about to get real tonight.
We're actually going to be, after this session, having a 5-minute break. So if you're done with your challenges and opportunities, you can kind of put them up, grab a drink, use the restroom, do whatever you need to do. You can also, if you didn't get a chance to share what outdoor rec means to you, you can come up and we can write that on the board. What time is it right now? Yeah, so it's 7:32. So like by 7:40, be back in your seat and we'll keep going.
Cards for you.
Yeah, just raise your hand and we'll come around and get them.
Okay. All right, everybody, we got about 1 more minute left in our break. 1 more minute. 1 more minute left for the break.
Like Lexington, they always have triathlons, they always have swimming races and that sort of thing. And that brings a lot of people, and also fishing tournaments. Now that truly is economic power too, because it brings a ton of people to participate and a ton of people to watch. And then the last thing I would add, Lucas was right, was we need a regional park. So then you can have centralized tournaments where people stay overnight. Counties all around us have softball tournaments, baseball tournaments, all these tournaments because they have regional parks and they get lots of people to participate. I heard your name over there, Jen. Everyone good? Yeah, very good.
Okay.
One last thing.
Oh my goodness.
I can talk all day. One last thing. Are you aware we have a golf course?
I heard there is, we did, okay. I didn't see it. Okay. So yes.
It was a 9-hole course, and you can research the history.
Yeah, okay.
But you talk about there's a golden opportunity. I mean, you got tournaments, you got recreation, you got all that, and a 9-hole course is cheap. The property's changed hands a few times, so it's a golden opportunity. That goes to, my word was opportunity. I got a quick thing.
Yeah. If we could get everyone back to our seats, I also want to find Sanithia if she is, I'm not seeing her. We need you, Sanithia, for the next presentation. There she is. Come on back to your seat. Have a seat. We want to get you out of here by 8:30.
All right, we're going to start. Everybody, please sit down. The sooner we start, the sooner we can get through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And let's see. Okay, yes. So my part is just to kind of talk about where we are right now with Fairfield County, where we hope to go, why we decided to go after this grant in the first place. So for those of you who don't know me, again, I'm Sanithia Williams. I'm the Deputy County Administrator. I didn't speak earlier when we talked about what does outdoor recreation mean to you, but for me, when 2020 hit, I implemented the pandemic of parks. And my kids, I was ready to support their gaming career because they play video games, and you would think that they would be the kids who would not want to go outside. But when I started the pandemic of parks, because I couldn't sit in the house with these boys all day long, and we needed to find something free and social distance to do, we started visiting parks. And I wish I would have known about the plethora of resources in Fairfield County at the time, because we would have had pandemic of parks up here. We hit local parks, state parks, and national parks. And from that, my kids now enjoy fishing. They will go hiking. Well, we don't hike, like we do a trail, like a 2-mile loop. But they'll 2-mile loop hike with me and things like that. So where you may not think your child would be interested, I would just say having these recreations and just taking them out to do that. And my boys are now 13 and 15. So at the time, they were just right on the cusp of preteen, eye rolling, I just want to play video games. But they do this now. And so when I say, hey, we're going to go to parks, they're just kind of like, okay, let's go. So that's just my 2 cents. So why did Shelley, our fabulous grant writer, see this and decide, hey, let's apply for this? Well, this gives the county the opportunity to build on the multiple outdoor recreation opportunities that we have to try to revitalize our downtown areas and to promote economic development. We've heard that several times here tonight. And this is a way for us to promote it in a way that we may not have thought about before. We always think big industry, businesses, but we have these resources that can promote economic development, and we need to take advantage of that. It allows us to do things like what we're doing here tonight, involve you, the citizens, our business leaders, our community leaders, our outdoor enthusiasts in this process. It's not just us sitting up here in Mount Zion or Fairfield Government Complex or whatever you want to call it and coming up with a plan. It's having you all here with us and telling us, what does it mean? What do you want to see, and where do you want the county to go, so that can be included in the plan. Because I'm not the expert on that, but we have the experts here who can help facilitate these discussions and get this stuff out of you all. And it will give us a roadmap to leverage our resources in a way to benefit all citizens. Outside of this plan, they'll let us know about state and federal grant opportunities or programs that we can then go for to help implement this plan. That was something that came up earlier. We don't want to just write a plan and it sits on the shelf or it goes nowhere. They will tell us things to look for so that there's the next grant opportunity or there's the next thing to apply for, so that if we want to see something happen in Fairfield County, we have a roadmap of ways to do that. So why Fairfield County? I think the words everyone said before kind of tells you why we're the perfect fit for this grant. Not only did we get the grant, but I mean, we have a lot of great resources here. So what makes us the perfect fit? Well, we have historic downtowns. Just going down to Ridgeway or going into Winsboro and hearing people talk about what it used to be like. Well, we want to build that back up again. I would love to come up here to a wine/coffee shop or a bookstore on Main Street. I think a lot of people will. And then I can go to the Railroad Museum, or I can go to the lakes or somewhere else. So there's a lot of ways we can utilize and leverage our outdoor recreation and also revitalize these downtown areas. We have so many outdoor assets, right? So there's the new Molly Creek Park access, but then we just have the state park. Going out there today and seeing the resources at the state park, the trails, the way you can just kind of go out there and just sit and look at the lakes. We have beautiful lakes, Monticello and Wateree. We went to both of those today. And a lot of people maybe here may not even just drive out to the lakes just to enjoy those resources, where it won't cost you anything just to drive out there and just sit and enjoy nature. Tourist attractions, the Railroad Museum. I have not ridden a train outside of a subway until I came here. And then I got on the train at the Railroad Museum. And all I did was post a picture of me on that train on my LinkedIn page. And I had other people saying, I didn't realize this was there. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to come. So there's things here that will draw people. We just got to let them know that it's here. And then Carolina Adventure World. I'm not getting on the ATV. Sorry, you're not going to have me fall in a trail. But there are a lot of people who will. And being out there and seeing what they're doing at Carolina Adventure World, the upgrades they're making, the way they're trying to draw in and attract families is amazing. And that's going to be a huge draw. But how do we even diversify that even more so that everyone in Fairfield County feels excited about utilizing that and bringing people from that drive shed that you saw earlier into Carolina Adventure World. So then when they leave there, they come to Winsboro, they go to Ridgeway, they go to Jenkinsville, and they spend money other places. Recreation facilities. The county has 19 parks. I know, because when I got here, I counted them, and I've tried to visit as many of them as I can. So we have these, let's utilize them in some way. Pickleball, baseball, walking, book clubs. There's all kinds of things that you can do to utilize the current outdoor recreation that we have here. If we have the parks, how do we utilize them in a way that benefits us and brings in further economic development? And we actually have a pool. I eat lunch out there sometimes, out there near the pool at Fortune Springs Park. So that's a way to draw in resources. Your swim lessons fill up as soon as Parks and Rec opens the registration for swim lessons. And then we do have big economic development projects that we're trying to work here. The mass grading of the I-77 mega site. We're trying to build a new speculative building at our Fairfield Commerce Center. Someone earlier mentioned the work trying to bring in a wastewater treatment facility. Those industries don't just look at the workers, they look at what are their workers going to do if they come here. So if they build something on the mega site, when we sell the speculative building and they have people that may come into the area to work, or they start hiring people here, what is the quality of life are they going to have? Well, we have plenty of things here to improve the quality of life for anyone who wants to live, work, or play in Fairfield County. And so we can leverage some of the big economic development projects with some of these smaller outdoor recreation. And so we have a lot of current initiatives that tie into the overall goals of RERC that was mentioned earlier. As we've said several times, our unique location between Columbia and Charlotte and I-77 access. Updated comprehensive plans. The county's updating their plan, the town of Ridgeway is working on their plan, the town of Winsboro. These plans can all align, and some of the items from this plan can tie back to some of the items in the comprehensive plans. This is a great way to leverage what everyone's trying to do and tie it all together. Improvements at the Austin Trailhead. We mentioned wanting to bridge that gap to draw more people in. I went out there today, I crossed the bridge, I'm afraid of heights, but it was very cool. And it would be great to see more improvements happen out there. I wanna go back. I wanna take my kids to one of those campsites and just make s'mores. We don't have to walk the whole however many miles. They'll be happy just to go out there and make s'mores, and it won't cost me a thing, but marshmallows, graham crackers, and some chocolate. The popularity of the Railroad Museum. We're already looking at trying to get some tourism dollars to the Railroad Museum so they can make further improvements so that we can draw in more people so that everyone is posting not just on their LinkedIn pages but on their other pages about the Railroad Museum and bringing other folks in. The revitalization grant the town of Winsboro just got, that's a huge benefit because the town of Winsboro being growing and prosperous is Fairfield County growing and prosperous as well. And so that's a big, big thing that the town of Winsboro was able to receive that funding to help revitalize that downtown. That's a huge step towards growing the recreation and tourism here in Fairfield County. I mentioned the improvements at Carolina Adventure World, seeing that today. It used to be just fathers and sons would come in for a weekend, now they have families. Well, guess what? The other people in the family, whether it's father, son, mother, daughter, cousin, whoever, they may want to go somewhere and just hang out after they've been on the ATVs all day. Or they want to go and check out an antique shop. So this helps us get those people from Carolina Adventure World. They're bringing them here, let's keep them here. And then the thriving festivals, Pig on the Ridge, Arts on the Ridge, Rock Around the Clock. We have big festivals. Let's invite other people in so they can see the benefit and what's happening in Fairfield County and they want to stick around and maybe do some of the other items that we have here in Fairfield County. But more is happening. This is today. You know, that's the goal of this workshop. We need to continue to gather the community input, continue to have feedback from the community, discover what else is happening. I just listed some of the things I know about, but you all are the community. So you may know of other initiatives, like the man who's building his own park that was mentioned earlier. That's something that we can tie into the plan. You may know of other initiatives. Use that and it gives us input as we develop this plan. We want to discover what you want and need. So like I said, it's not just us sitting up here in our ivory tower saying this is what Fairfield needs. It's you telling us what Fairfield needs and wants so that we can develop a plan that benefits all citizens. We heard it. Equity and inclusion, we want that as well. We want people, all people in Fairfield County, to be able to utilize the great resources that we have here. So thank you. That's my part.
Great job. Thank you so much, Sunithya, for providing that context. I just want to, I don't want to go through all of those things, but we did hear a lot of that today on our tour. We got to see not all, but many. You have a very big county, so we couldn't see everything, but we did get to see a lot. We got to visit downtown Winnsboro and see the amazing stuff that's happening with the clock tower, with the farmers market. Obviously, there are some challenges in downtown Winnsboro as well. Some of the many vacant shops, some buildings that are in disrepair. We went to the Railroad Museum and got to see all of the exterior. I wish we were here on Saturday to be able to ride the train, but it's a reason to come back for sure. Aw. We went to Ridgeway and saw the police station and all of the great restaurants there. Also the state park, Lake Wateree, and there's just so many great things happening. It's really exciting, and I don't know why. What happened? Did I go? Okay, there we go. We also got to go to Carolina Adventure World and see all that they're doing there. It was interesting that, that when they talk about when those families come and providing them other opportunities, they send people to Great Falls. Well, why aren't they sending people to Winnsboro? I think there are a lot of things that they could do here, they could do in Ridgeway, and finding those ways to capitalize on the people that are coming. We also got to go to Lake Monticello, the Palmetto Trail, really just amazing, amazing facilities and such dedication by so many people to make all of this happen. So, we did just want to share the goals again so that you could see them. I think we got some really great ideas about preservation, about making sure that we have some workforce development ties in here, and so those are some things we'll work on this evening and bring back to you later on tomorrow. So with that, I think we will do our final exercise, and we're going to need to hand out, I hope everyone still has their pens, but we did just want to end tonight on kind of a visioning exercise and note, and ask that y'all think about something really good that's happened in Fairfield County in the future. And we want you to write an aspirational headline for the front page of the local paper that will be published in 3 to 5 years. So, really thinking about all of the stuff that we have talked about, some of the assets, some of the challenges, what you want to see for outdoor recreation, what you think Fairfield County is. And, you could think about these headlines in terms of the goals if that makes it easier for you to think about that. I can go back to that slide afterwards. But we want you to sit quietly and think about that headline. And while you're thinking about that, we also want you to think about what happened, what's the impact, and what made it possible. And we will work together to share those in a couple of minutes.
I was going to build on what Amanda said. Think about not just local, but also like national headlines as well.
Yeah, good point.
There's like National Geographic Traveler. There's a lot of great publications across the country that are covering rural economic development work as well.
Yeah. If you need a pen, raise your hand and we'll come around. You're welcome. Anyone else? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, so we have this, and then we have like report out and next steps, Mm-hmm. know people still probably need some more time thinking about it, but what we will be doing next is kind of pairing up. So once you're kind of done, find a neighbor and pair up and share. You know, you can talk about your headlines and share with them. It can be a fantasy. Yes, it can. Aspirational. We like to call it aspirational. Do you have to leave? Do you have to leave?
No, I just thought, oh, well, we can read these? You're going to share?
Yep. So like Amanda said, once you have your headlines, you can start
You can
talking
share
about them with your
neighbors.
neighbors.
Neighbor. So we want you to, if you're finished writing, find a neighbor and talk to them and interview each other about your headline. Talk about your headline. Find out what, yep.
Some people went above and beyond. I'm seeing whole stories written, which is hilarious. Not just headlines, but whole stories.
Okay, I'm hearing lots of great conversation, which is awesome. We will be asking for volunteers to share your headlines. You can either share your own or share your neighbors, whichever you would like. I have somebody who would like to volunteer, so we'll go ahead. Probably just type. Yeah. Okay, we have our first volunteer.
Okay, my title is Fairfield.
Everybody, we're going to do some share outs, so if we all kind of quiet down and listen to our share outs. Thank y'all.
My title is Fairfield, Hub for Healthy Living. Local county has developed extensive opportunities for residents to become healthier by providing recreational activities for all ages. Activities include boating, fishing, running, walking, biking, and court sports. For the younger families, splash pads are localized at smaller sites around the county to overcome the summer heat. Unity made it possible.
Okay, mine is the fantasy one. And being the history lady, I imagined, I have a brother who's a spelunker out west, so I'm always thinking of things to dig up. Significant archaeological find uncovered in downtown store basement. Workmen digging uncovered an underground railroad station for the freedom flights for 18th and 19th century slaves.
Nice. I like the creativity points. Okay.
All right. Now, I know we've talked a lot about pickleball and we've talked a lot about railroads. I'm going to continue talking about railroads. Headline would be South Carolina Railroad Museum begins daily train excursions. We've talked about that for 35 years. Impact would be bringing in a lot of tourists if we can get them off I-77. It takes a lot of effort to do that, but we're only 5 miles from I-77 and get them off. What would make it possible? We need local support. We're going to need grant support at least for the first few years because we need a few paid staff. We have no paid staff except for one part-time person that works 3 days a week. The rest of us are all retirees for the most part and all volunteers. So we need some paid staff and then we need more volunteers. I see a lot of potential volunteers here this evening. I'll be talking to you.
Me? Okay. My headlines are Fairfield County completes purchase of White Oak Conference Center. The impact would be facilities that allow outdoor recreational opportunities, various sporting opportunities that provides the win-win. And what would make this possible? To me, it would be integrity, vision, funding, and leadership.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Biologists determined there are more bald eagles in Fairfield County than in all of California. Bird watchers descend from all over the world to see. Brought to you by preservation of this natural wild environment.
I actually have two. Blame the publicist in me. Fairfield County, South Carolina earns recognition as top 10 best small towns in America and most improved main streets to shop in South Carolina. And then the other one reads, South Carolina Fairfield County SC residents become the first in the nation to implement and execute a community-led rural economic development model.
Okay, sure. Mine is more general because it encompasses all your specific ones. But what I'd like to turn around in a few years and look back on is industrial development balanced with recreational development in a controlled manner, which produced a high quality of life for an expanding middle class.
Okay, imagine a bugle in the background. Da-da-da-da.
A South Carolina county decides to define progress, quote unquote, as a future that enables the citizens to live healthy and active lives in the outdoors. The Fairfield County leaders have developed an inclusive plan for its citizens to utilize the natural environment countywide for a variety of recreational activities.
Wow, nice. Hear, hear. Okay.
I'm saying mine is not a dream because I want to see this to reality. But my headline is The Heart of the State, Fairfield, a great place to live, work, and play. 2023 started with the county, local towns, and forward-thinking groups joining together to bring growth and opportunity to the area while making sure to preserve the history and laid-back lifestyle. This happened because the people who live here love this community and want it to be the place where future generations want to live.
A local family, in conjunction with Fairfield County, purchases land from 215 to Winsboro area for a choose your adventure theme commute. On this trail, you can veer off to do petting zoos. You can veer off to go golfing. You can veer off to go mud bogging. You can veer off to go camping and have drive-in movie theaters from 215 all the way to Winsboro. Join your community.
Headline news coming soon. Fairfield County is building a riding trail and a overpass bridge or a tunnel across I-77 to ride ATVs from downtown Winsboro to Adventure World for food, fun, and lodging.
I just have County buys final piece of trail connecting Broad River and Lake Wateree.
Okay. Fairfield, a recreation region, just hit its millionth visitor using their Access Pass program. Choose your adventure in Fairfield.
Mental health is preserved wealth and on the rise here in Fairfield County. More resources. The impact is a high rate of recovery for the mentally challenged. And who's going to help with that? It's community, families, government, business partners, corporations, the mentally challenged, and me.
Oh, nice.
Two prefaces here. Number one, I think you said 30 years from now. And number two, I'm a bottom line kind of guy. So if we get this bottom line from this headline, that means we've done an awful lot of things right, and it will show up in the results. Fairfield experiences double-digit population growth due to excellent economic and recreational development. You get that, you've done right.
Fairfield County hosts 3rd annual Broad River Festival at Signature Riverfront Park. Thousands attend. And then I've got one little extra one here. Assistant County Administrator Sunithia Williams kicks off opening of new zipline park.
I see out here on the major mega site, we're going to have a major industrial coming in, bring some high-paying jobs, Walmart coming back, and we're going to have a lot of housing developments.
So, any others? We maybe have time for one additional one. Let's see up there in the yellow. Yeah. We've got 45 seconds.
take that long. Cable and internet no longer controlled by the mob in Fairfield County. Promises of a better tomorrow. The prices on ours is higher than anybody anywhere.
24 seconds. Did you want to go? I saw you.
Walking park with public art and history information about Fairfield County. If you've had the opportunity to go to Greenville, South Carolina, they have just a wealth of sculptings, and it's great. And they have all kind of restaurants and things of that nature, so it brings in a lot of people. Now, that, of course, that's Greenville. So.
Yeah, I'll take that one too. We're going to collect them. Yeah. Yeah, sure. And we are going to, for those who didn't share, we're actually going to collect all these, so I'll be coming around. Please keep your headlines because we're going to document them all. We're not losing any ideas. So we'll come around and get those.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing. I hope you all were inspired by whether your own or somebody else's amazing headline and some of the things that you can do here in this community. Lots of really great ideas, so thank you very much for playing along with us today. I'm going to pause here. I should have done that a little bit earlier while you were reading out to see if anybody on our online has anything to share. So we'll just pause here for a minute, but I will look at my notes ahead for the next slide and just kind of go there and let you know that, tomorrow we'll be doing this all again. We'll be rolling up our sleeves and really getting into the details, the things that are going to make this happen. So we hope that you leave here tonight inspired and ready to come back tomorrow with some ideas, willingness to bring people to the table, resources to the table. It's going to be a long day. We'll be together from 9 to 5 in the morning. We'll have some recap of what we heard today. We didn't get a chance to share out our challenges and opportunities, and we didn't hear all of the headlines, so we'll kind of go over some of those things. We'll be sharing some case studies based on what we've heard and what we have heard you all share. We will come tomorrow with some different case studies that hopefully will provide some further inspiration, and then we'll start working in small groups, and we'll start to brainstorm. Again, more that next level down. We talked about goals, so tomorrow is going to be about the next level down of actions, getting into some of those details. We'll do a prioritization exercise so that we all are on the same page. Everyone will have an opportunity to kind of share their different priorities. We'll prioritize those, and then we will get to work on figuring out who does what and what are the next steps to kind of take this plan from here to reality. I see a question in the back. I'm sorry? Yes, thank you. The meeting will not be here tomorrow. We will be in the Winsboro, the old Armory. That's 300 Park Street. Thank you. So the afternoon will be the prioritization, the detailing, report out, next steps, and wrap up. So I'm assuming that we don't have anybody online continuing to participate, so I'm going to keep going. We saw this slide. And lastly, I just want to encourage everyone to take our survey. We have this QR code that you can scan with your phone. I will get to you in just a sec. So that you can tell us how we did and how we can improve on this program. So it says the survey should take about 15 minutes. I'm going to say it might take about half that time, 5 to 8 minutes maybe. And the survey results are anonymous. If you're having a hard time using this QR code, we have QR codes up front. There's also one on the table in the back. And if you don't have a smartphone, we also have paper copies. So just find us afterwards and I can give you one of those paper copies to fill out. Just want to thank you all again for being here. Oh, yes, if you haven't signed in yet, please do so. We've got a sign-in sheet in the front. If you pre-registered, it's easy. You just mark a check. If you haven't registered, that's okay. We want you here, so just sign your name, give us your email address, and tell us whether or not you want to stay involved in the process so that we can make sure to keep you involved. And I saw another question from the gentleman over here. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's very flexible and open. We realize it's a long day. We know that not everybody will be able to commit the entire time. So come when you can. Your ideas are important. You know, that's what makes this happen. So if you can come for any part of that, we welcome that. It will not be streamed, unfortunately. I don't believe we have that capability in the Armory. But we will provide a meeting summary. There will be a virtual open house on December 15th from 6 to 7:30 for those that weren't able to attend. So we'll do a similar kind of recap of what we heard on tomorrow, on the second day, and you know, have an opportunity for people to share input then. So if you can't make it tomorrow or want the abbreviated version, that would be another opportunity to participate. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we will share this presentation with everyone. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Oh, yep. Yes, there you go. You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, I don't have my phone. I think we're doing okay on time. We might even have you out of here a few minutes early, which I know people appreciate, so. Any other questions? No? Well, thank you all so much for being here. I know it was a rainy night. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.